Hey, welcome back to the LooEasy podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Pokemon and NFTs, what that can look like in the future. So stay tuned if you want to know more. All right, we're going to get right into it. So Pokemon and NFTs, I know that's been a topic on what a lot of people are excited for. I'm very interested in it as well, what that can look like. If you are unfamiliar with the word NFTs, it's been kind of talked about a lot. NFTs stands for a non-fungible token, which essentially is a digital asset that you can buy and sort of use. And typically right now it is more standard in video games. So it's usually a digital asset that can be attached to like a character, like a skin, or some type of other asset that depends on the game. So something that is currently being used by Pokemon themselves is, if you think of the game Pokemon Go, it's a free game, but there is a ton of microtransactions. So there are actual NFTs within Pokemon Go. It is a digital skin, clothing, whatever you have. It can be something as purchasing a Pokeball, so that way you can use. There's all sorts of NFTs that are actually in there. But what we're going to talk about, I know we're going to talk about Pokemon Go a lot, but a lot of people actually think that Pokemon's going to be doing some type of card collectability app, so to speak. I know that's something that I've thought of, but I'm here to tell you I don't think it's going to be what everyone thinks it's going to be, sort of like what Topps is doing with their NFTs. Mainly because Pokemon themselves are mainly in it for gaming. You forget that Pokemon is a gaming company. They are owned by gaming companies. All three companies that own Pokemon, which are Creatures Inc., Game Freak Incorporated, and the Nintendo company. So it's three of those. So it's Creatures Inc., Game Freak, and Nintendo. All three of those companies work within the gaming industry. They are not a part of the they're not so much interested in the third market, and those are things like, I don't know, like they are in it mainly for the gamers. That's basically the easiest way that I can put it. So for instance, every single platform and game that they've created around Pokemon has been around gaming. It has not been about just trading or collectability. There has been games made that have a collectible asset or a collectible aspect to them. So for instance, the Pokemon trading card game. It is mainly a game that has collectability around it. So there are different types of rarities, what have you, and they don't necessarily affect the gameplay. They are just a part of the game, they are a part of the collectability aspect. So there's, like, for instance, a Marnie card, which is a very popular card. Marnie is a trainer card that gets used within the game, but there are three different types of Marnie cards that you can collect currently. In the Sword and Shield base set, there is the regular Marnie Hollow, there is the Full Art Marnie, and then there's the Secret Rare Full Art Marnie. All three of those work the same in the gaming aspect, but collectability wise, there's a different amount per type. So the cheapest one you're going to find is just the regular Hollow, which is I don't have one on me, but it's often the most classic looking Pokemon card. And then you have the newer form Full Art Trainer cards, which are blowing up in popularity right now. Those typically are worth a little more from the collector standpoint, but in the game they work the same all the way around. The regular Hollow Marnie is going to work the same as the Secret Rare Marnie. It's just essentially the artwork that gets praised. So that's kind of what I see the NFT world being with Pokemon. It's going to be somewhat attached to the game. It's not going to be this extra thing that is purely collectible. I think it's going to have a gaming aspect to it that has some characteristics of collectability. So it's not going to be centered around scarcity. It's going to be centered around a game with some scarcity in the future. What that can look like, I know recently we've been talking about not on this podcast, but I've been a part of different communities as well. I know VR and AR are really big. There's, I guess, virtual NFTs that are wearable with certain types of smart glasses, some VR glasses, some Oculus and stuff like that. I know those are becoming more and more popular. We might see that because I know Pokemon Go does have some AR filters that you can use. You can see the Pokemon. They've already done it. They were one of the first to do it. But you might have, actual clothing you can wear with a certain type of glasses that you buy. You might be able to walk alongside your Pokemon day to day, and then anybody else who has those glasses can see the type of Pokemon that you have within that gaming world, so to speak. So I think that they are going to focus more on the game first, then the whole NFT collectability afterwards. I don't see it being this one-to-one where they're going to compete with Topps, where Topps has, the virtual packs that, you can buy and then sell on the blockchain, which is another issue that I think people are having is Pokemon kind of has this demographic where they aim for the younger kids, but they also have a larger, wider audience of people like myself who grew up playing Pokemon, being a part of Pokemon in their childhood, and now continue to do it. They people my age have kids who are then bringing their kids into the hobby. So they're going to aim for the kids because that's the long-term investment in their eyes. Kids obviously can't buy crypto very easily. They're probably more likely to pick up dollars off the floor than they are to find crypto. So I don't think it'll be attached to crypto so easily. I'm pretty sure someone's going to find a way to somehow make that happen, but as far as it being a competitor to what Topps is doing right now, I doubt it's going to be that. It'll more than likely 100% be around gaming. And on top of that, Pokemon Go, in comparison to the trading card game, if you're looking at it from a company standpoint, Pokemon Go has registered users for it. When it comes to Pokemon trading cards, their only numbers as far as what they see as recurring business are either people who go to compete at their Pokemon Worlds Championship, because those are actual players that come back and are registered players, which is their target audience. Those are people who actually register in to play the game. So that's their target audience. They have a set number of people to play. And then they also have the online and distributors who purchase these things. But those, you don't know if those are players or collectors. More than likely they're collectors, because we all know collectors make a majority of the popularity of Pokemon right now. But there's no definitive number on who's who from the company standpoint. So as far as, which one is probably going to make more money, I think Pokemon Go has more registered users, gamers, you will, versus Pokemon trading cards registered, and I say registered within quotations, registered players. So they're more likely to make a digital asset for Pokemon Go than for Pokemon trading card games, just based off of the numbers right now. And Pokemon Go has been far more consistent in retaining those users, I believe. I don't have the numbers, but based off of the numbers that I looked at last, which was in the millions, you got a more consistent user base there, and you have those microtransactions, whereas in the Pokemon trading card game online, they have no way of microtransactions. If you've played the game online, which is free by the way, and I would recommend playing it because it's super easy and super fun, there's no way to actually make purchases on that. Their client is very outdated and old. The only updates they ever do are for sets, but they have not updated that asset in a very long time. And I think once we start talking about NFTs in this digital space, I think right now is probably the best time to even upgrade the client. And I'm almost certain that's probably what they're waiting for, is they're waiting for this idea to be made. They're probably working on it right now, essentially, of updating and somehow making this cohesive area, marketplace, if you will, for collectors and players. My idea, they can take it if they're listening, which I doubt, but my idea for them in this time would be to make a marketplace slash media app, if you will. So what we have right now, if we're going to tie it in, I know I'm kind of throwing out all these ideas. I'm basically going on a rant because I thought about this the other day. I heard Gary Vee talking about how excited he was for Pokemon and NFTs. But my idea for Pokemon, if I had control of the Nintendo company and I could say, hey, Pokemon, you guys are working on this for the next couple of years, I would love it if they made this not Discord server, but Discord-esque app where you have creators who make content. You know, these content creators who make content dedicated onto that app, and you have also players, and then you have a marketplace in that clientele, so that way you can trade digital assets with each other. You know, Pokemon does have an app called Card Decks. It's a way to digitally see what type of cards you have per set. That feature, I believe, can be thrown in there as well. So basically what I'm trying to say is Pokemon needs to make their own app where they combine everything that they currently have but update it so that way it competes with social media. Combining social media and creating this digital space where you can actually trade digital assets amongst each other really, really smoothly would be tremendously beneficial for them, because that way you get to control the community. Because right now the community is split up throughout all sorts of social media, and I think they entail different. They function very differently. You know, the Facebook Pokemon groups function differently from the YouTube community to the Twitter community to they're all different because every app has its own community. But if they combine those communities into one app, creating this digital world that, you know, we all sort of live in, I think if they were able to not only create a free space where obviously the app is free to use with microtransactions, I think that would be a great place to do that, where you get to meet all sorts of people, where it's all Pokemon based and you can make digital trades there. You've got content creators talking about things, sort of just basically having this giant Pokemon world. You know, I think it's super cool that Nintendo is having Nintendo World. I would love to see something like Pokemon World where you actually get to go to a physical place. But I think a digital space for them would be absolutely perfect. So that way you can create these NFTs far more easily with microtransactions, obviously. Maybe in the far future, once crypto becomes a little easier to access, I think you can start to incorporate that in there. What else did I write down? I think another competitor you can look at right now, which is something that I've been dabbling in, is a Topps product, which is totally free, that is very similar to Pokemon Go. It's called Marvel Collect. It's by Topps. It's sort of what I'm trying to get at as far as creating an app around a community of people who want to trade digital assets. If you haven't played Marvel Collect, that's sort of what I'm talking about, where it's you using in-game currency and real-life currency to make these purchases with online currency to open up product and then trade it if you want to achieve collector badges and stuff like that. Just merits. You know, create this meritocracy within a digital asset. I think that's the kind of their main goal, is to make it into a game where there's also a collectible aspect to it. That's sort of where I'm at as far as Pokemon and NFTs. I really don't think they're going to compete with Topps just on a purely collectible aspect. I think they're going to make it into a game first with collectability, sort of like what they're doing right now and what they've been doing for the past 20-something years. I really don't think they're just going to make a solely collectible aspect to it where it's attached to the crypto blockchain. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I don't see it within the next 5 years. I honestly think they should make a digital they should make a social media app for themselves, basically, is what I'm saying. A dedicated Pokemon Go or some type of Pokemon social media where we all kind of combine each other because we're all in separate worlds within this one world, if that sort of makes sense. You know what I mean? And I think that's where I'm going to end my rant, because I've got all sorts of ideas here, and I'm just going to end up losing myself and you guys listening. But if you've been listening this far, thank you so much for listening. If you're watching this, thank you on my YouTube channels. I'm going to start plugging away. I'm actually going to finish this off because I have one more rant. I've been talking about gaming on my Twitter feed a lot of the, not me gaming, but the video game sealed market, I think is going to blow up even more. I have been tweeting about it a lot lately because it's just been on my mind the past month or two. There is a video game that I won't mention that I'm very close to purchasing. I think just collectibles that are attached to nostalgia and are very big staple games are going to be huge within the next year. I think that's going to be the next market to blow up. Sealed collectible games that are just all-time classics, you know. Again, I'm not going to mention any because I have one in mind and I would like to purchase it. So I don't want to blow that market up. Last time I said a certain card, or anytime I mention one thing, I don't want everybody to just jump at it. I don't want to create artificial inflation for something. So I would say the type of, I don't want to say inflation, but if you are curious about video games and sealed product, I would highly recommend doing that now, because even Card Talk podcast, free advertisement, they have started to talk about it. And so once they start talking about things, that means that more and more people are going to start talking about it. And I got excited because I saw that tweet and I was like, yes, my gut feeling was correct about this, because they were mentioning that a Zelda, this is what I will mention because it's already been done, Zelda, the Nintendo, not the Nintendo 64 one, the one that came before that, the classic one, was sealed at a I forgot the name of the company, VGA 9 out of 10, sold for 800,000, I believe, 800,000 or 80,000, but some ridiculous number. And yeah, I think those types of assets are going to be next as far as increasing in value. I think that market's going to go up. But if you're not following me on Twitter, you're not going to miss all my little mini rants, or you are going to miss all my mini rants. So I would suggest, if you want to get my quick thoughts, and if you want to, you know, pick at my brain, Twitter's going to be the easiest to do that. And so go ahead and follow me on Twitter. It's Lou_EASY. Follow me on YouTube if you haven't subscribed already.